Okay. So I just got finished done playing Horizon Zero Dawn last night. It took me about 40 hours to finish. I think typically this game takes anywhere between 25 to 40 hours, give or take. I did all the side missions. I did all the main quests, obviously. I did maybe 6 errands. And yeah, it took me 40 hours. So, I have a lot to say about this game. Sorry if I'm a little closer. I'll go back a little bit. So basically, there's so much to talk about. So if a lot of people don't know about this game, I think I'm gonna go really in depth with the story. This game is really about transhumanism and like the overtaking of technology, the singularity, evolution science and scientists and like people that own companies of artificial intelligence trying to become cybernetic gods. There's so much to talk about, and I think this review will be different from every other one I've seen because a lot of people don't know the underlying message of this game, and a lot of things that are happening in the world right now and that are gonna happen, kind of predict in this game, kind of like predictive programming, I guess. So I just threw a bunch of information at you already. So what I'll say first is this game is obviously set in the future. Spoiler alert! If you don't want to get, I guess, spoiled, don't watch this review. Um, so this game is the main character of Aloy. You find out later on that you're actually created by a tube, which is kind of like the Matrix, like an artificial tube, and created from like technology and AI. Um, Created for a purpose, and her mother, she's looking for a mother the entire game, and she finds out her mother is also just an AI, artificial intelligent, created machine. She's actually good, so Aloy finds out she's actually a machine. I guess technically she's not real, she's not human. So that would, I mean, if anybody found that out in their life, they'd be devastated, I guess. So that's kind of like later on in the middle of the game you find that out. So Gaia's basically this AI machine, which is like the mother god. People look up at her. She's like the god of the machines, basically, aka god of the world, because civilization has been wiped out, obviously, because of machines. These companies created them, thought they would do good. Obviously, it went bad. Gaia is basically the mother god of the machines, and then Hades, aka the devil god, or the metal devil is what they call him. He's the evil side of that. He infiltrates Gaia, which is a program of AI which is created to be good, and infiltrates Gaia as like a virus and kind of represents like Satan almost in a way as the devil. Let's call him the devil, metal devil for a reason. And so there's all this symbolism between Aloy, Gaia, and Hades, which is the metal devil. So it's like you can almost say like Aloy is kind of like this Jesus character in a way, and Gaia is like the father. So Jesus is the father, which is like they're both women though, which is different because a lot of religious and Eastern philosophies they follow a mother god for some reason, and then Hades is like the devil. So there's a lot of symbolism, and I think a lot of people don't understand that about this game. There's a lot of stuff that might happen in the future that kind of. I'm not saying robots are gonna take over, but AI is getting stronger every day, and there are robots already made. So this game kind of has a scary future to it, and like I feel like a lot of people don't know about that side about the game. That's why I kind of wanted to clarify that's basically what the game is about. You can almost think of it as like Google and Apple nowadays. Those would be the companies that would try to make AI like this, and you can see Apple already doing it. It's pretty crazy. So it's set in a post-apocalyptic world, and machines have basically taken over. And Hades is almost like this entity, and it can actually become a particle and travel from one machine to another, give knowledge to people that want knowledge. In return, he wants information about the world and how he can kind of take over. And Aloy has to stop that, I guess, basically. And there's tribes that are on the world that have been separated from families, and like those are the people that are still left alive. So, with that being said, the graphics in this game are amazing. Like, there's no other game you'll find on console that. Well, you can find other games that are just as good looking as this, but as far as open world, this is the best looking game I've seen open world. You can say Witcher is probably better. I haven't played The Witcher. I know it gets compared to this a lot, how the crafting system works and all that. And also GTA is obviously an open world game that has really good graphics. So yeah. Um, so the graphics are amazing. It's a stunning masterpiece. You can literally just walk around the environment, not have to do missions, and you wouldn't be bored. It's amazing. I literally pause the game for 3 minutes one time just looking at the environment because it's that good. the fact that it's run on console is just. And Gorilla is one of my favorite developers since the Killzone franchise. So once I heard they were making this, it took me long enough to buy the game. I kind of slept on it for a while, up until a month and a half ago. I gave it a shot. I was like, I should have played it a long time ago. So graphics are amazing. It's 10 out of 10. Even there's no argument there. Gameplay is pretty good. It's solid. The combat system is kind of feels like it's added on. It's not the best, but this game is mostly just about your shooting mechanics, the slow motion, crafting, traps, all that stuff. So the gripes in the game, like I feel like the health system could have been a lot better. For some reason, you seem like you have all this health, but once you get hit a couple times, you're automatically dead, and you get different armor and suits and stuff. That kind of helps to modify your suit and your weapons, but it's not. It's all right. Um, so yeah, you get all this health for some reason. It feels like you can't really do anything with it until later on in the game. You actually need it. Some of the boss fights can take an hour. I got so frustrated at one point. I just couldn't beat a couple of big machine bosses, and like, yeah, it's frustrating sometimes. It's kind of a challenge at some points, but it's rewarding. So it's like a good middle ground. I feel like it's not a very hard game, but it's not easy either. It's like in the middle. Um, so I like that. It's also kind of fun how you can take over robots and you can actually like get on top of like a robot. It's kind of like a dog. I don't know what they're called, but you can ride around the entire you know place that you're in, I guess. So with that being said, I talked a lot about the game, obviously. If you like games like Uncharted 4, The Witcher, survival, or not, I wouldn't say survival, but like third person action adventure games like Witcher and Uncharted, you'll probably love this right away. I The story is what really got me. There's not many stories that are so deep. Like there's been other forms of entertainment and media that kind of touched on stories like this, especially with like Netflix and like there's TV shows that kind of talk about this artificial intelligence type of stuff, but not in a setting like this, and not to the depths of the story and how it's almost resembles real life and the future almost in a way. Some people might think that's crazy, but it's actually true. So that's it's crazy. The characters in this game are actually really good too. Each person you talk to, you'll find something about them or like a story. You'll this I'm not saying the side missions are completely like, worth it to do, but it does give you XP and all that. It gives you a little bit of backstory, but some of them feel like they're kind of tacked on. You don't really need to do some of them. But if you just follow the main story, you'll be decent off, but like you do need the extra XP. And the ancient armory, if anyone's you can't beat the game without ancient armory. That's one of the last side missions you have to do. Without the ancient armory, I don't know how you can beat this game because it took me long enough just to beat it at the end. The last hour of this game is kind of difficult, so like if I were to review this game out of 10, it's like a 9 or 9.5. Nothing lower, nothing higher. I probably just give it a 9. There will be a second one because at the end, spoiler alert once again, Hades, his entity or his spirit, whatever you want to call it, gets released by this guy. This guy is always craving knowledge. It's almost like the Garden of Eden, like the tree of knowledge. So that's why I can't stress enough how this game has symbolism from that, and also takes from other games too, as far as the gameplay and combines together. So it's really cool. So yeah, basically Hades gets released at the end again. Guile is supposed to take over the machines and end it all. It's almost like putting a good seed into an artificial intelligent design, but then Hades escapes, almost like they didn't kill off the source at the end, and this guy pretty much takes Hades' entity, traps it, and then moves on. So that's basically that. If some of this doesn't make sense to you, this is kind of how my perception is of the game and what I think about it. Usually I'm pretty accurate. I have beat the game. A lot of this information you're probably getting from me, you haven't heard from any other reviews. Most people don't know the underlying message in games, especially a lot of media today. There's a lot of stuff they're trying to tell us. And these developers probably have knowledge that most people don't. And this is the type of stuff you'll want to know about the game that people should know, I guess. But as far as there's no online. I feel like this is one of the gripes I have. Another gripe I have about the game is like, this easily could have been a cooperative game. The fact that it's open world, There's other characters you easily could have just two-playered it, even 3 to 4. Like it actually would have made a lot of sense because there's times where your AI partners don't even do anything in the game, and that could have been easily put with a friend or two. So I'm not sure why they didn't do that. Maybe in the second one, I really hope because there is gonna be a second one. I really hope they add on cooperative play. That would make this game like so much. It would go from a 9 to 10 basically just by having that. But other than those a few gripes, the health system, the fact that there's no co-op or online, which is alright because the game's long enough. It's a single player standalone game. But for sure, for a second one, if they're gonna make a second one, which it should be obviously, um, I guess it's confirmed. Co-op would be like amazing. Um, the cutscenes are great. The graphics, gameplay, like yeah, I can't. This is. It's almost a. It's basically a masterpiece. Like there's no way about it. Like it's third. It's AAA. Um, if you haven't picked this up yet, I highly suggest you play if you like the games that I mentioned, like Uncharted and Witcher. So that's basically my review. I can't really think of anything else to say about this. Yeah, Aloy's not human, which is crazy. Um, I know when I found that out, it kind of like shocked me. I didn't really think about it, but it made sense. So it's yeah, that's basically it. So if you like my review, tell me what you thought about the game because I'm really curious to see what people thought about this. Some people nitpick at this game. They're like, "Oh, it's boring" or something. I'm like, "How is it boring? Like, there's so much you can do in this world. You don't even have to do the missions. You can literally just like go around the place and just explore. There's no way this game's boring. And the more you go, the more you play it, the more you want to know about the story and the characters. At least that's how I felt. It's kind of how I felt with the Evil Within and other games that I've played. So 9 out of 10. Check it out. Peace.